Hello all, welcome to Android tutorial series by G Innovation. I am Praveen Pushkar and I'll take you to the actual Android development. In the previous session you learned about how to set up Android development environment. Today we'll get into the development and see what an Android project contains, what all files are created and their significance. So what actually we are going to do today? First of all, we'll have an overview of our Android application, that is the Notes app that we'll be creating. Then we will go through the resource files that gets created for each Android project and how Java code accesses all the resource files. Let's start. This is how our app will look like after completing this session. Simple list of strings, assume these as your notes, and a button on clicking of which we can add new item to our list. Let's create the project. Go to file, say new project in Android, select Android application project, say next, give your application a name. I'll say it as my notes. Yes, I'll be renaming the default package name to com.g innovation dot my notes. Next, we'll be creating a blank activity. Yes, so here you need to put emphasis. You can see the activity, right? Activity is one of the component model of Android application. What is seen by user on the screen is your activity. Layout, as the name suggests, it defines the layout of activity with which it is associated. For the matter of fact, there is no any dependency between an activity and its layout file. You can define your own XML with your own choice of layout, and activity inflates your layout when it is created. Here Eclipse is creating one for you. Say finish. This is the project that we just created. You can see various files that gets created automatically. These two are the Android library files, the source folder which actually contains your Java code. This is the gen folder which contains the automatically generated Java files, and these are generated when a project is built. Asset folder which contains the extra files that you want to add to your application. For example, the font files, the DTF files. We'll be skipping these two. This is the resource file, and we'll be putting more emphasis on this. This is your Android manifest file. It is called the hub of project, which contains details on activities permissions within your app. Now, with respect to the requirement of our app, we will see the significance of the other files. Let us create our first view now. That is, we will be editing our layout file. By default, your activity main, that is your layout, is opened. Before moving forward, I would like to introduce string.xml file. You can find it over here inside the values folder. Let's open it. String.xml contains all string resources. That is, you define your string values here with respect to an identifier. This identifier can be referenced from other XML. We will see how it is referenced. According to layout defined, we need two entries: caption of the button and application title. Let's define it. We'll have identifier name as btn str btn caption and app title. Give app title as notes and caption as add, and we're done with string.xml file. In Eclipse, to edit your layout, you can use either graphical layout view of ID, or you can explicitly edit the XML files. I will edit the XML files. One more thing, we can have different type of layouts. In our case, we are taking a relative layout. Type of layout selected will decide the way your child views, that is the components, will be kept on the screen. You can see the various type of layout over here. Now I have taken my list view and button, and I have configured its property to get my view, and it will look like this. This is the list and this is my button. Yeah, I would like to put emphasis on this text property of button. You can see we are assigning the text value from the string resource, and we are getting it from htr button caption. Yeah, you can see from htr button caption we are getting add. You must be wondering that you have defined all your component and string values in XML files. How we are going to access them from Java code? Answer is r.java, the generated Java file. It is a class containing all identifiers and names of resources defined inside the resources, be it drawable, layouts, strings or styles. With the help of r.java, you can acquire reference to your resources and manipulate its property. So here you can see we have list, and we have defined its identifier as lst nodes and btnadd. Let's get into the gen folder. Yeah, r.java. We will be putting more emphasis on our own component, that is btnadd lst nodes. You can see the layout defined over here, and the string properties that we have defined there, btn caption and app title. So we are good to go. So let's run our application. Save my notes. You can see we don't have any entry inside this list. For that we need to do some work in the main activity.java. You can see this class extends activity, and it have its own life cycle, and it also provide callback method. This is the first callback method which gets called when an activity is created, and it sets its content view. You can see it is setting the layout. It is actually inflating the layout that we defined and getting the reference from R. Now you need to create a temporary data source, for instance an array list of string with each string signifying a node entry. Let's create that. Now we are done with this. Now we have a data source. To add data to list, you need to create an adapter. For time being, you just think of adapters as data providers for the view. Yeah, so we have an adapter, we have an array list. So we have instantiated our list, added items to list, and this list is again assigned to our adapter. Now we'll be assigning this adapter to our list. For that we need to have our list view reference, my list, and you can get it from this method, find view by id, and we have id inside r dot id dot here, and we have got the reference of our list. Oops, okay, so we need to cast it. Yeah, that's okay, and assign this, and assign adapter dot set adapter, the current adapter. Now we're done. Let's run this application again. So here we have our list, and we have list item inside this list. So the procedure will be get the instance of the list view, instantiate your array list, assign it to array adapter, and set adapter property of list view to the adapter you just created. In the next session, we will be continuing with the same application with capability of adding new nodes with description. So we are done with the practical implementation. These are the do it on your own points. Try implementing different layouts, implementing styles, and you can use various other components. You must study all these things: the component model of Android, activity lifecycle and its callback methods, and adapters. Thank you.